Hey everyone, Joe here. Well, today I wanted to do a quick review of a product that I use here in the office quite often, and you probably tell from the title of the video that is the M-Audio Oxygen Pro Mini. Now, I got this little keyboard to actually be able to punch in some beats and stuff, and actually enjoyed it so much, I actually ended up purchasing the larger version, well, the non-pro version of the Oxygen 64. And you would think the bigger keyboard I'd end up using the most, and actually not. The one I use the most is this little joker, and that's because it fits on my desk. The other one, I need a piano stand or a big drawer I got made here in front of the desk here to slide out to put the keyboard in front. So it's big and bulky, so I never use it. Now, I do use it when I want to play a full melody, like I'm playing like a piano thing going on. Yeah, absolutely use it. But when I want to like punch out a good bass line or a little melody for some music and stuff I'm working on, this is the one I normally pick up because it's already sitting on my desk and it does what I need it to do. Now, the M Audio Oxygen Pro Mini is not a regular keyboard. This is a MIDI controller. It's the reason the price is so cheap. I think I purchased mine around $110 plus tax or whatever at the time. But yeah, you can find them around $120 to $100 on sale. And you need a computer to interface these with. Now, the M Auction Pro Mini here has two options. You can plug it in USB, which is what I got. However, it does have a little small 3.5, well, not 3.5, well, a little small TRS headphone jack as a MIDI output. I actually made a cable to, in case I needed it, to run to my Moto M2 over there, but I never have to use it. The USB works quite well. It powers it up. Just need one cable going to it, and like I said, it works quite well. Now, why did I get this one over the Akai? Because there's two of these really in under the M Music brand, the umbrella company that has both of them. Get Akai and get the M Audio. For the most part, the Akai one and the M Audio are very, very, very similar. The reason I got the M Audio one in particular is because I like the mod wheels. I don't like the joystick on the Akai one because I like to have better control over what I'm putting into the computer when I'm making a melody. And a mod wheel and a pitch wheel, giving that a joystick, it's like playing a game. I don't like playing games. I like to get things correct the first time. All righty. Now, this little joker has a lot of little features to it. And one of those, like I said, is that it's small. Now, it doesn't feel bad. It's plastic, but it's a good thick plastic. It does feel really good quality. The keys and everything have a good tactile feel and everything to them. They're not. They now here let me explain something here. They market this as having the best in class keys. Now that would make you think this has some kind of weighted key design like you'd find on professional keyboard. Folks, remember we're talking about $110 here. They don't feel cheap, but don't think they're going to feel as good as a comparable larger piano or keyboard, for example. So if you get the Oxygen Pro full size one, those keys will feel better. But for small keys, these do feel really, really nice. And they feel very durable, like they'll last quite a while. And they have very, very little movement to them. Like, so they got little movements here, but, you know, they feel solid, but not hard. They have nice attacks to them, so if you press them real gently. Now, I kinda got the, velocity curve on this. Let me turn the velocity curve off. You're barely hitting it. So, yeah. I normally keep the velocity curve turned on. That way it helps me because I normally don't play anything low. So, anyway, it actually feels quite nice. Even the pads. Let me put on the drums over here, and you hear the pads. Even the readout up here tells you how much the impact's going on. And you can switch to just the upper pad banks. Alright. So the pads work real, nice. And it's got some features built into it. You can use it with your DAW or without your DAW. For example, if I go to arpeggio mode over here, and let's go back over here, and this one, and pull up Jura. So got that going on. But listen to this. Go to shift over here. I could change the type. Now, get you up, down for the arpeggios. Inclusive kind of goes up, and plays the same note again at the very top before it goes back down, then plays the bottom note that goes back up. Exclusive will go up to the top and automatically start rolling back down without repeating the upper and lower notes. And they have some other options here: order, random, chord, because it can play chord arpeggios as well. But let's put on exclusive here. I think that's what it means. Make sure I'm on this one. Say octave, go up one extra octave. So if you've got 0, it stays on the same octave you're playing on. Goes up one extra octave, 2 extra octaves, and 3 is as high as it goes. We don't need to go that high though. 1's all we need for this. Of course, you also have a gate. See here, gate. Turn your gate up, all the way down. Let's put it about halfway. Swing. Don't want no swing on this one. Turn the swing all the way down to 50%. Now, it's got a latch mode as well. But don't put the latch on yet, and just hit this. Sound familiar? Like I said, this is done all in the keyboard, so you don't actually need an arpeggiator or anything in your DAW unless you just really, really want to use one in the DAW. But hit on latch here and let it play out. Alrighty. So that's quite nice. The arpeggio can also be used for different like beats and stuff. But for example, you can change different beat types over here. Your note patterns. You got what quarter note, eighth note. Right now it's on eighth triplet. See, you can change it by just double tapping there. So let me go over here to another synth. Arpeggio works quite nice on it. It has a few modes and stuff there. It's got chords. Let's put it back on piano. Piano's better for this. Just all well. And of course, you get different type of voices. Get your regular, major 3 here. Let's make sure we are on C here. Because, yeah, you can set your root chords. Go that deck down to C. Go here. Or maybe you want to do some, let's say lo-fi stuff, which you normally, using a 7th. Here we go. Got that one. Oh yeah, chord works on it. Get scale modes. And all these other. You can actually set the tempo independently in here from say your actual computer. So if you don't want to match the same tempos in here, you can change the tempo here also. Internal, external. Like I said, up here you got different presets you can also set up. So you can set these all up for different softwares. There is a preset editor as well, software you can download to set everything up. And overall, I really do like this thing. It's built quite nice. Got very little to almost no flex to it at all. Feels quite sturdy. Like I said, my only complaints about it is they kind of market this as a travel keyboard, and these keys I worry about getting torn off traveling, especially the knobs and stuff. Now they do get the Pro keys on it for the Pro keyboard. I understand that it's Pro is in the name, obviously, but the non-Pro version actually has lower profile keys. And being they kind of mark this as travel, which I would like to use for traveling, I would have preferred the lower profile, sliders and a lower profile knobs. Something that you can actually turn and get, because you don't turn these a lot, but you don't want them sticking up next time when you drag something off, throw it in your luggage, whatever. Shirt get hung on it or pants get hung on it. Next thing you know, you're looking through your luggage for a broken knob. So, yeah, I would have liked to have lower profile knobs on it, but the rest of everything else I find quite useful and actually enjoy. But before I forget, it does have, octaves here, so you can go up and down. The only real drawback to this little joker is, well, if you got big hands, you might not really like these. Now, I have fat hands, but my fingers are short. But I end up making some good bass lines and melodies and stuff with it. Because, like I said, it's on my desk. It's a lot easier for me to pick this up, figure out a melody I want, then turn around and go to Bitwig, and I use a step sequencer and just kind of tap in the beat that I want or melody that I want, then go back and adjust it in Bitwig and play it out. So, like I said, it's nice. Here, for example, is my little TKL keyboard. As you can see, it's barely bigger than it. For a piano that fits on your desk, it's really quite nice. But anyway, this is what I use. I highly recommend it. Links for it will be down in the description below, as well as it'll be tagged in the new product tags and stuff that YouTube has now, in case anybody's interested. But that's it for this video one. Like I said, I really do like this keyboard. I thought I'd share it with everybody and recommend it because it's actually pretty decent and I actually enjoy using it. Okay, everybody. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Please feel free to join us on Discord, Facebook, and X. And if you can, please consider becoming a Patreon member. Also, if you're interested in what gear I use, those and all the other links will be found down in the description below.